You know what's missing from local radio now? Spontaneity.
Keep staring, people will, but don't care.
When I first started in radio in 1970, a company could only own 3 broadcast properties in a market: an AM station, an FM station, and a television station. Then came the Telecommunications Act of 1996, which meant all bets were off. Man, it is freezing down here. And since in my advanced years I'm prone to rewrite a lot of history that isn't really true, I'm going to put the factual information down in the
Doobly-doo.
Sam's back. My guest pass for the 1978 Capricorn Summer Games. This is where I had lunch with Cher. A lot of people say, yeah, I could do a radio show, and they probably could. You have to be 3 or 4 steps ahead of yourself as you're doing the radio show. I equate it to going on a destination and knowing when to take certain turns. You had to get a license. It was called an FCC third-class license, and in January, I had to have my license at 15 years old. I passed, so I got to take the job. For those of you old American radio guys, I'm going to say something that'll strike fear in your heart. Element 9, the Roy Head Bridge. Fans of the radio show will know about this. And this is the spontaneity part. You have to have the brains to say, okay, if a great phone call comes in, but I have a bit planned somewhere down here, you got to be willing to rip up the format clock.
Hello.
Bill.
Yo.
Roy Head.
Roy, how's it going this morning?
A conversation between Jimmy Swaggart and Oral Roberts the other day.
No.
He asked Brother Roberts, he said, Brother Roberts, do you think prostitutes can be saved? And Brother Roberts looked at him and said, why, of course, Brother Swaggart. He said, well, good, I want 2 saved for me Saturday night.
Oh, good God Almighty, this is the big one.
And that's what's missing from so many radio stations today. It's all automated, or it's all done in another city, but you really don't have that sense of community. My backstage pass to the Allman Brothers 7 Turns tour. I was born in the 50s, so I lived through the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, and the 80s. If you were going to have an interest in music, that's definitely when you wanted to be alive. This is my receipt from Young & Rubicam, which is an agency in New York. They paid me $500 to do a Kentucky Fried Chicken French fry commercial.
There's nothing new about them. They taste like McDonald's to me.
Now you can get crispy, thin, delicious French fries.
When Capricorn Records opened and Bobby Wallace was bringing albums by the Big X for us to play, it wouldn't have happened if we were owned by a big corporation and they were choosing the music. A letter from Bobby Wallace, who is our liaison at Capricorn Records. This is the note he attached to the albums that he wanted us to pick the singles from the first Allman Brothers album.
Metro making weather just ahead of more music or more something on the Bill Elder Show.
That's about right.
Sunny today with a high of 65. I ran into Biff the other day. Do you know how close Biff came? Do you remember how Biff got his name?
Yeah.
When he first came here,
I most certainly
you
do.
commented on the fact that, is that the new sports guy? And I said, yeah, new sports guy. And he said, Frank? And then we started throwing some names out, and one of them, I remember, was Bruiser. He came this far from being Bruiser Malloy. What's funny is that he wandered around for 2 weeks. People kept calling him Biff. He had no idea what they were talking about.
I love the internet. I love YouTube. I love making videos, and I love technology. So I really understand when things started to go computers, but there's a certain part of me that knows that there's a great part of radio that's missing and is gone forever. This is my first control room at FM 99 when I first started. No, Bill, you hadn't changed a bit. And that's why I'm so grateful that you allow me to make these crazy radio videos and share a little bit about what the past was like.